Hi, I am here with Robert Dawson Scott, who is the writer of The Great Train Race. Hi, Robert.
Hello.
So, The Great Train Race, what's it about?
Do you know what? It's about trains.
No way.
Racing. Yeah, and it's not a bit like Starlight Express.
God damn it.
No, it's a real historical incident from the summer of 1895 when, believe it or not, trains used to leave London at 8 o'clock at night and race hell for leather up the east coast and the west coast routes to Scotland. This was after the building of the great bridges over the Forth and Tay, so that on the east coast before you had to go around by Stirling, and it all took their ages, or they had to go on a ferry at Brent Island and all this kind of stuff. So suddenly there were two routes to the north, and tremendous competition. This is, you know, if you were a kind of a student of railways, you would say this was the last time there was real, genuine competition between different railway companies. And it was red in tooth and claw. I mean, there would be punch-ups on the platforms between ticket collectors and all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, no, it was really serious.
It was really, like, it really mattered.
Yeah, it really did. And I mean, I came across this, I don't know why, I picked up a book at a second-hand bookshop like this, I've known about this for ages. And the more I've learned about Edinburgh and Glasgow is that all the cliches are true. So, when you find these two companies, the North British company was based in Edinburgh and the Caledonian was based in Glasgow, and it's just like, it's just like a comedy.
Yeah.
So the Caledonian Railway is this kind of, yeah, who's was like us, we're great, you know, we're just brilliant, we're a bit kind of, and the North British is just a little bit more behaved, all that sort of thing, and it's just extraordinary. You read the descriptions, you know, historical descriptions written by all sorts of experts, and it just maps on, you know, like line for line. You think, I must be making this up. Yeah. So it was too good to resist.
Yeah,
too good to resist.
Had to be written.
Yeah, I thought so. It's a great story. There's no politics. I mean, you could make a whole thing about the politics of, you know, the workers on the railways or capitalism and all that kind of stuff. You could do a whole thing. It's not like that. It's just a story.
I think there's people can read stuff into it, but it's not. It's a story that's been.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, it's a race.
Yeah.
What could be more dramatic
exactly
than a race? What do you want to know? You want to know who wins.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's. I'm hoping that the energy of that, and I think that what we're going to try and do is make the audience take sides, so that by the time we get to the climax, they will be rooting for whichever side, literally whatever side of the audience. It's going to be, they're going to be on traverse, so they're going to be able to see each other, and so we're going to whip up, you know, a storm, and actually literally get them cheering if we can.
Brilliant.
In the
It'll be interesting to see how.
Because it was incredibly close. You know, after 500 miles of steam trains through the night, they ended up less than a minute.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's mental.
So, you know, it's Mo Farah.
I was going to try and think of my athletics.
It really is.
And this is your first professional play?
It is.
As a writer.
Which is also extremely exciting.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Play, Pint and Pint that I actually managed to do bits, or actually get to the end of something. Because, you know, I've been a drama critic for a long time, and obviously I go to the theatre a lot, and I see it done, and I think, oh, I'd be interested to try and do that. I wonder how hard that is. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was always too open. There was too many options. But when Play, Pint and Pint started, there was this, you know, 45 minutes, no set, 3 actors maximum. You know, it had to work in that space, and suddenly those limitations, in a funny kind of way, made it more possible.
Structure.
Because if you're a journalist, you see, if you're a journalist, people ask you to do a piece of work. Yeah. The only thing you want to know, you ask any journalist, what do you want to know? How many words? When do you need it? And so somehow those kind of restrictions, very mechanical restrictions, have made it more possible in an old kind of way.
Yeah. I think sometimes, just must focus your mind.
Yeah.
What can I do within these parameters?
Still took me nearly 10 years. No, but still.
Right,
but we got there in the end, and I just sent it in on spec to David. And actually, I tell you, here's the thing. There are various kind of techniques, what you'd call techniques if you're an academic, but of, you know, plays, and some of them are borrowed from sort of shows that David McClellan would have been involved in back in the day, both in 784 and in Wildcat, in terms of the way you tell stories and the way people step in and out of other characters with just a wave of the hand, no big kind of drama. So a lot of that very kind of out front kind of thing.
Acknowledging the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe it spoke to him in some other way. I don't know.
I think it's a good tie-in. It speaks to Yeah, I think our audience will.
Yeah, I learned. I mean, one of the first shows I ever seen when I came to Scotland in 1984 was a show called Dead Liberty, in the middle of the miners' strike, done by Wildcat.
Yeah.
And I saw it in a miners' garden.
I'd love to have seen it.
Keith or Bonnie Rigg or something like that. I had never seen anything like that. There was a nice boy from St John's Wood in London, you know. I had never seen anything like it. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it.
Aww.
So yeah.
So I'm glad that we are producing here.
Firstly, I must say,
That's
I tremble to think what the rest of the Scottish theatre community, you know, was like savaging my vicious.
I know.
Like, the sound of axes being ground. You know.
Are you critical?
Scotland,
No, I don't type. No.
No, I don't know.
Are you critical of your own work, or have you found it hard to switch your brain from one discipline to another, or can you?
Well, I hope I'm critical of my work. Yeah, but it's a very different kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think perhaps I used to work in the theatre 100 years ago in London, and I did lots of stuff at university and so on. So I perhaps had some more idea of the mechanics of putting a show on than some of my erstwhile colleagues. I mean, I used to be able to say, you know, that scene's not working because it's too far upstage.
Right.
You know, stuff like that, which other people would have felt less comfortable kind of getting involved in. I mean, I didn't want to, you know, you don't want to redirect things, obviously, if that's not what you're there for. But I felt that I could, you know, have those conversations at a kind of reasonably informed level. So I had some idea. It wasn't just completely, you know, kind of out of the blue. And so far, I have a 100% record, obviously, of writing.
And forgetting your work.
Douglas Maxwell, about 35 games before he got the script off.
So far, so good.
So, okay, yeah, I think I better stop now.
You're one of the Trav 50 writers.
Well, that was the other thing. See, no sooner had I sort of put the final full stop to the Great Train Race than the advert for the Travers 50 came up. I thought, right, I'm in the zone. I'll keep going here. 500 words. She said 500 words, you see, so that was perfect. So yeah, that's been fantastically helpful actually. Although it hasn't particularly informed this, the workshops and the kind of feedback and so on has been really enormously instructive. Made me think about it. Think about what really happens is the thing I used to be frightened of was writing dialogue. I couldn't, you know. Turns out, you know, that's obviously it's the easy bit, but it's the other stuff. It's the structure and form which is the hard bit, and dialogue is the stuff that, you know, is the end. I wouldn't, again, easy, not a good word to use, but in a way less of a problem than I expected. Whereas figuring out what has to happen when and why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who knew, eh?
You got there you go.
Like everybody knew except me. But anyway.
Fantastic. Good. All right. Well, hopefully we'll be seeing some more writing from the pen of.
Who knows? Who knows? Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you.